Some people say she talks a lot. Outnumbered co-host Emily Campagno. It's so hot outside, she has her space heater on medium. New York Times best-selling author and Fox News contributor Kat Timpf. Now, if we could be serious for a moment.
Enough is swearing these days, so I don't know what the big fuss about it is. I think it is funny. School, he'd be like, no violence! He'd like smash our heads together. Hey, no fighting! Slap! You know?
Complicated politics. Listen, they've been fighting forever. They don't know what the they're doing.
Yeah.
Everybody felt that. I really believe everybody, no matter where you stand on any of these issues, felt that. I sent this video as soon as I saw it to most people that I know. My most liberal friend was like, yep, pretty much. If you didn't love that, you're lying. And if you're mad about the use of the F word, if somebody... People are like throwing bombs at each other after a scene. You can use the F word. I think you can always use the F word, but that's like, please, right? But it is so frustrating, and it's such an impossible situation. And I obviously the fact that, I mean, as of right now, things have calmed. That's wonderful. That's amazing. But the fact that it keeps going, that is why I'm so hesitant for the U.S. to be
they've been fighting for centuries. Emily, you're a master of language and a very high, fast pace.
And here's what I was thinking about, like the brilliance of it. For those of us who use it way too often, you know, it means nothing. It means nothing to me. It means nothing to you because we say it all the time. But when you hear the president say it, the one time he's ever said it, then that's the impact. It was the perfect use. Like, that's a perfect, I would have advocated for this in a courtroom, right? He would have gotten, like, sent away, I don't care. Because the other thing is, it worked. So the F-bomb diplomacy has worked because since that point, the ceasefire has actually held. And I think, you know, leave it to the mainstream media or those libs that don't see that this was awesome to make it all about nitpicking the efficacy. Like, couldn't they just say, great job to those pilots. Hell yes, you put our interests first, Mr. President. Instead, they're saying, well, maybe it only set us back a few months and maybe a couple years. And they're totally spoiling the moment of celebration for our armed forces that pulled this like incredible collaboration mission off as only one could under the leadership of only this president. So I guess I won't hold my breath for that, but we get to celebrate.
You know, here's the thing. He just used the F word, which means he doesn't really
is the worst kind of person who, after we've been watching a war going on, he'd be like, he used the F word.
Yeah, it's like, forget the bombs and the death. He did an excellent job.
See, my thing is I'm so anti-war because I am so pro-veteran.
Yes.
Right? And that's something that a lot of people struggle with, that distinction, right? And I think that it would be, just imagine going to war. I cannot imagine going to war. Sometimes when I like look at my husband just like standing in the kitchen in his underwear, I like forget. But it's an incredible sacrifice, and absolutely everyone should be grateful for all those people who have made that sacrifice.
And again, I think you need to, she is so pro-veteran. People sometimes take anti-war for being anti-government or anti-American. She's... But if we can get
can't do anything right. It wouldn't matter what he did, they would find some way to tear. You know,
all right. Shameless plug. Shalou, have you ever had anybody insult you?
But yeah, AOC, I mean, she's been... Does she know that? Plus, she's not really from... Thanks, I guess that's the point.
And Emily, I'll just keep this party rolling.
I feel like this is hilarious because it's sort of exactly what we were saying in the first block, which is like, clearly we know exactly what he's thinking, and he could have said, like, try to impeach me, make my day, but he added all that other stuff that just made him so relatable, right? Anytime you want to be surgical, you just say all this stuff. And I was thinking how AOC is this master, allegedly, of marketing and swag, right? Swag, whatever. And how she always, you know, turns things into slogans. She's this massive fundraiser. So I feel like President Trump should make shirts again, blending our whole conversation, where maybe the front says they don't know what the they're doing, and the back says they're gutless losers, make my day. Wouldn't that be amazing? It would be like a perfect campaign shirt. I'd buy it. I'd wear it.
Yeah. Well, you know.
I actually, for the first time, when I was listening to you read that, I had a few questions on my head, which is he writing these on his phone or on a computer? Because that's a lot of, right? And then what kind of face is he making when he's doing it? And then can the people around him tell when he's doing it? By the face, because if I like have a certain face, like Cam would be like, oh, she's talking to her sister, they're laughing about it, they're talking, you know, like, can people be like, uh-oh, he's got another one?
Yeah. Usually,
Is it angry or is it a smile?
I think it's probably.
Does he know when he's done?
Yeah.
I think he just keeps going.
Yeah, it's right there. It is. Had to try, and I just don't know. I feel like it's time to get out there and do your own stuff.
Well, I will say this: your guitar accompaniment was made to like go after and troll the president, and it feels like.
He needs to get in front of a mirror, talk a little bit of smack to himself, and I think he will see his life improve.
Now, Shalou, Emily. Your thoughts?
Harshly. Look, I sort of struggle with it too, because I feel like I'm like, is it elderly abuse for me to like rip on this guy? Because I do, you know, it's like, oh my God, he tried. Like I feel bad shaming anyone for putting themselves out there and trying. But then when I take myself out of that mindset and just add on to your question earlier, the Dems are obsessed unrelentlessly and unfailingly with President Trump. And to be his constituent, that's what I don't understand, is that this person isn't like an endearing old teacher or your beloved neighbor. This is a lawmaker. This is this legislator, just like the other ones that are yapping about that, well, the power for war was with me. I wouldn't trust this guy with anything, let alone something actually important. But the fact that his salary is being paid still continuously for all these years, even after the island comment that his constituents have to keep him there, like that is what is mind-blowing to me. So if I separate sort of the jester quotient, the beloved elderly grandfather quotient, from that this person is an actual legislator, please, can we open an investigation?
So basically, if he does this from the home, it's cute. Dead?
Yes, sort of, but here's why. Okay, so the traditional, in my head, I interpreted that as like no alcohol, not the seats that you can recline deeply, you know, not the like seat service. So if it's the traditional, like the floors are sticky, there's like homeless people doing disgusting things, like don't look sure, you know what I mean? Like smells, like all that stuff. If it is that, goodbye. But if it's the new wave of all that extra awesomeness, you know, where it's sort of like upscale, then that's fine. Because, for example, I hadn't been to a movie in an actual movie theater for like literally years until 2 Sundays ago, when during that crazy rainstorm, there's nothing to do, it was Sunday, so we couldn't go driving. So I went to go see Mission Impossible, the newest one, Mission Impossible like 50. And it was great. And we had reclined seats, and we had drinks, and it was a big screen, and it was totally amazing. And it was the perfect movie to see in a theater because it was all about the military and the Air Force.
Thank you. Well, coming up next.
By the way, they got it. The whole thing needs to be, you know,
With going to like even McDonald's. McDonald's at one time was, or is it? Do you also agree that it's dead? Because it's not the same as when we were younger.
I don't like.
Wait. You should be clothed. Yes. Ask you about seat service. Okay. This was not a seat.
Go in the movies with the bike shorts. That's my problem.
Sure.
Well.
A lot of concerts, not lately, but I like to go to concerts. shirts.
Yeah, Parenthood does that.
Yeah, exactly. I don't do anything fun anymore except be at home with my wonderful son.
Yes.
But I would say, I did go to one movie in the past year, but that was because I was 8 months pregnant. I wanted a soft pretzel.
Yes.
So
Pregnant cat was ruthless.
I sat to get the soft pretzel, and guess what?
What?
The pretzel wasn't good.
Damn it. Not to brag, but I have a Costco card. And I could get you a soft pretzel.
Next time on hours, I went. Sat through a whole movie for the sake of a pretzel.
Was at least the movie somewhat entertaining? Listen, I loved.
All alone, Tyrus. This, I'm always picking on the studies that we do, picking them apart, because I didn't.
See, this is why I.
Yeah, whatever they want. Whatever they want.
Hey, I'm going to take 6 months from sex.
Yeah, whatever they want to tell themselves, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I don't know. This is. They want to break. Yeah, then take one.
Yes.
I know there's people like it's too much sex. I can't. Like I don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. I'm actually I would say much happier not being. To be sincere, I'm much happier being not single and watching my husband be a dad to our son's the greatest joy of my life.
Thank you. Jamie. Emily, one of the things. Where do you fall on this?
Well, I don't fall in the 2,000-person pool of Lalo because you're totally right. Of the 24 that wanted to break, 50% of them said that they had already done it. Like, guys, it was clearly that they were just pulling the people who are existing customers. That's it. That's what it was. These are people who just shop there all the time. They're not real people. They're not real people.
Well, Emily Campagno, Jamie Lissow, Kat Timpf, and our studio audience.